welcome to my channel. I am Tori Lynn. Let's blossom today. Today I created this super fun look for the holidays. It's kind of a peppermint, candy cane inspired holiday look. The holidays are here and I am so excited. I love the holidays and I thought I would bring you a little holiday joy by creating this really fun look. Peppermint is like one of my favorite holiday flavors and favorite holiday scents. I just wanted to create a look inspired by that. I was wanting to do something fun and this is what I came up with today. I kind of had a little bit of an idea in mind and this is what I pulled together. So if you guys want to see what I used, how I created this really pretty, really fun look, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and let's just jump right into it. The idea I'm kind of picturing in my head today is a red and white kind of like candy cane or peppermint inspired holiday eye. So I want to do my eyes first before I do my skin in case we get any fallout. It'll make it so much easier in the end to wipe off that fallout without ruining our foundation and concealer. But before I want to do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to throw on my brows. And I'm going to prime my lids. For brows, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. That's my absolute favorite brow product right now. I use the shade Taupe. And then I'm going to prep my lids and carve out my brows with my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Porcelain Beige. And I will be right back. Now that my brows are on, and like I said, I prepped my lids, I'm going to start with my Conspiracy palette, because this palette, I went through my palettes, and this palette had the best, brightest red. So I'm going to use the shade called Flamin' Hot. It's that really bright, like, Flamin' Hot Cheeto red. And I'm going to take that on a medium, fluffy brush, and I'm going to start by working that shade in the crease. I'm going to make sure to put down a really nice coat, really nice thick layer. I want that color, that pigment to really pop through. And then I'm going to start packing that on the lid. And I'm not going to go all the way to the inner corner down on that lid because I think I'm going to do a cut crease. So it doesn't really make sense to pack that all the way into the inner corner because I'm going to end up covering that up. So it'll just create more work for me later. I love how like bright and intense this red is. I hope everyone has been having a really wonderful holiday season. I know the holidays are definitely different this year with COVID upon us. We're not able to get together with our families that are far away and do as much traveling, and shopping is not the same and things are definitely different, but I hope you can still find ways to enjoy the holiday season. I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers earlier this morning and she said something that really resonated with me. She said this year has really made her realize that it's about the little things. And you know, it's true. It really, life is about the little things, and I think that's true. This year has really made me realize it is about the little things. You have to find joy in the little things in life because we kind of take for granted the everyday things that we always thought we're always going to be there, and things are so different this year that we have to find joy in those little things that we get to still do. And every night I come home and I turn on that tree and I just try to enjoy getting to sit there in that light and watch those movies and spend time with my husband and the family and friends that I can see. UPS man. The family and friends that I can see. I don't know, I'm just trying to really enjoy those things that I can have instead of worrying about those things that are different. Let's go ahead and I think I want to jump into my Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette, and I want to take that shade called Man Eater. It's kind of a darker red. It's still a very bright red, but it's a lot darker than that last red shade we used. And I'm taking a lot smaller brush. It's still fluffy, but it's not near as big as that last one. And I'm going to work this in the outer corner just for a little bit of depth. I don't want to take this look too dark. I want it to stay pretty bright and vibrant, but I want to add just a little bit of depth in the outer corner. when she said that, I was like, you know what, she's right. This year has been so different that we really just need to focus on the positive and, you know, find the joy in those little things, because it's those little things that really count and that really matter. Still able to have a Christmas tree, and I'm still able to buy gifts for my family, and I still have my family to celebrate the holidays with, whether they're near or whether they're far. I still have them in my life in some way, shape, or form, and I'm thankful for that. And 2020 has definitely been a hard year for a lot of us, but it has also brought a lot of good things for me. I have had a lot of positive life changes for me. I have made a lot of positive life changes, which is definitely a good thing. A lot of things that I've needed to change in my life and had struggled to do so, and this year I have finally done it. And I know I still have a lot of life changes yet to come, but yeah, see how I didn't add a lot of darkness, just a little bit right in that crease. I think now is the time I want to go and I want to cut that crease out. I'm going to go ahead and grab my concealer brush that I usually like to cut my creases out with, and I'm going to use my Shape Tape because it's a really, really light concealer and it just has a good coverage to it. And I'm going to put a big blob on the back of my hand. I forgot what I was saying. My husband just got home from work and I wasn't expecting that. Anyways, so I'm just going to take my concealer. It's a pretty white concealer, so it covers up pretty well. And I'm going to go ahead and cut out my crease. I'm going to bring up my mirror nice and close, so hopefully I won't block anything for you guys. Actually, let's not use that big mirror. Let's take a smaller mirror. I'm only going to do like a 3/4 kind of cut crease. I don't think I'm going to all the way across, but I think I'm going to go a little more than halfway. It's kind of what I'm thinking, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I end up with here. Let's start by kind of packing that product down on the lid. And then I'm going to open my eye and use that line as kind of a reference, or a guide, I guess is a better word or term for it. Talked about this in the last video that I did a cut crease. It's pretty much the only real technique that I know. It's pretty much the technique that everybody knows. I wish I knew a technique for people with non-hooded eyes, but I don't. One of these days I'll do some research for you guys that don't have hooded eyes, and I will figure out a technique that works for you so I can let y'all know. See, do I want to stop there, or do I want to go and like bring it all the way around? I think I'm going to stop there maybe. That's like a little over halfway. I don't know. Like, I usually stop about there. So I ended up going farther than I said I was going to, because like I said, I never know, and I end up just kind of winging it and doing it till I'm happy. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side real quick, and I will be right back. Okay, so now we're going to take the Conspiracy palette, and we're going to take the shade called Ranch. It is the bright white shimmery shade in the palette, and we're going to set that cut crease. I'm going to take one more palette. I'm going to take the ColourPop's Disney Designer Collection Midnight Masquerade palette, and I'm going to jump into the chunky glitter shade called Royal Ball. It's this one right here. I'm going to take that on my finger because that's how this shade works best. And I'm just going to kind of lightly pack that glitter shade on. I'm not going to like heavily coat it. I'm just going to add some glitter chunks. I think I'm going to go ahead and spritz my lids down just to give that chunky glitter something to adhere to, because I've set that concealer down with dry powder. I really like how this is looking. So much fun. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take that brush that I used to put on that first red shade, and I'm just going to go and smoke out that lower lash line. I'm just going to kind of connect from the outer corner all the way to the inner corner. Now this will kind of make a pretty intense outer corner, but that's okay because we haven't done our skin, so we can go and clean that up. I'm gonna one last time go back into the Conspiracy palette, and I'm gonna take that Ranch shade, and I'm gonna pop that in the inner corner, right between the two red shades on the lower lash line and that inner corner there. Now, let's go ahead, and I'm gonna take just a makeup wipe at this point, and wipe up any major fallout off my nose, off my cheeks. Clean up that under eye line just a little bit, that under eye smoke out. Clean that up a little bit. When I go to put my concealer on, a lot of that's going to get even more cleanup, so I'm not too terribly worried about it at this point. I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and we're going to move into the skin. For primer, I'm going to take my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I'm going to prime up my oily T-zone areas and my larger textured pore areas. So basically my whole face. I like to use this primer for holidays and special events because it gives your skin that beautiful, like flawless matte look. It'll keep your skin looking really nice for photos. It's a little bit of a more long wearing primer, so it just keeps your skin looking really nice for special occasions. And a holiday like Christmas is a special occasion, if you ask me. So I think for foundation, I'm gonna use, of course, one of my absolute favorites. It's the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. I use the shade Fair, and I'm going to apply that with a Morphe M6 brush. I use a beauty sponge to apply my foundation most of the time, except for when I do my eyes first. I like to use the brush because I feel like I can get a little more precise with my movements around my eyes and my brows. And then I just go in with the sponge afterwards to really blend that foundation into the skin and to buff out any brush streaks. Although I most definitely prefer this particular foundation with a sponge. I do remember that now that I'm using it with a brush. Now I'm just going to take my sponge and melt it all into the skin. Now I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape in the same shade, and I'm going to conceal my under eyes, my nose, and my forehead. I'm going to do a little on the smile lines, my chin, my usual spots, and take my beauty sponge and blend those out. Now this is why I said I'm not really too worried about that under eye smoke being too much, because you could take your beauty sponge and get right up under that eye if you got too carried away and clean up that line. See how much cleaner that got just from using the concealer. Now if you're afraid of getting too carried away with the sponge or not being able to make a clean enough line, you can always blend out your concealer with a brush as well. I feel as long as you use a beauty sponge with a tapered end, so either like this Aesthetica one or the e.l.f. sponge that has either this tapered edge or this tapered edge, you could get a really nice clean line either way. I just wouldn't use like the big round end of this Aesthetica one, which is what I use to do my foundation. Next, I'm going to take my Coty Translucent Airspun Powder and bake my under eyes. Using this right up underneath that under eye smoke, or right over top of that concealer, just to set down those under eye creases, because my concealer always settles in those creases. I'm also baking the creases along the side of my nose because my foundation always tends to settle in there, along with my chin. If I'm going anywhere that I'm gonna have to wear a mask, I want my foundation to stay on. And I'm also gonna do the same to my nose. for the same reason as my chin. If I'm gonna have to go anywhere that I'm gonna be wearing a mask, then I wanna do as much as I can to keep that foundation on for as long as possible. I'm also baking just above my brows here. I've been getting these spots that I crease really bad above my brows, just from raising my brows. They're not quite to the point where I've got wrinkles on my forehead, but they are starting to crease. So I just like to bake those, which kind of fixes that issue. Normally, this is where I would stop and do my brows or my eyes, but because we did that first, I'm just gonna go ahead and set the rest of my skin around the baking. So I'm gonna use my e.l.f. Sheer Tint Finishing Powder in the shade Fair Light. And so I'm just gonna start by kind of setting the skin around it for now while that baking kind of sits there. The baking I'm most concerned about is my under eyes. Now I let that sit there for a few minutes. Now I'm gonna go ahead and sweep away that under eye baking. And then take my setting powder and just kind of set over top of it a little bit, just to kind of get that uniformed look. And now I think I'm gonna go ahead and warm up the skin with some bronzer. So today let's take the e.l.f. Forever Sun-Kissed Bronzer. It's been a long time since I've used this bronzer, and I don't remember if I loved it or if I hated it, to be honest. I just remember having strong feelings about it one way or the other. But it's been a long time since I've used it, so I kind of wonder if I didn't really like it that much, but I don't know, it seems like a good color. It seems like it's doing a nice job, so don't know, maybe I just used a different brush. Sometimes with products, you just need the right brush to go with them, you know? Okay, let's go ahead, and I'm gonna quickly contour out my nose. Now, let's see, blush, blush, blush. Now I'm going to blush my cheeks before I do my bronzer. I'm going to take my Morphe 9N palette, and I want to kind of stick with that more red, peppermint, candy cane feel. So I'm going to go in with the red shade in this palette, that nice red blush. It's the most red blush that I own. And I'm really going to rosy up these cheeks, I think, just because I like a nice blush. I don't know what it is about me and blush, but I always seem to like a lot of blush, so. Maybe do a little on the forehead, maybe? Why, I don't know. I've been doing that a lot lately too, and I didn't used to do that. And then for highlight, I'm gonna take one of my faves that I haven't used in a while. This is Mary Luminizer from The Balm. She's a very gorgeous highlight. I absolutely love her. I haven't used her in a while. Then I'm gonna run this down my nose, a little on the Cupid's bow, because I can. Let's go ahead and spray the skin down, because I think we're pretty much done with the skin. We just really have our finishing touches, which are like lashes and a lip, and I think that's it. I don't think I want to go with a liner, although you could do a gorgeous wing, but I think I don't want to do a wing. I think the wing would maybe take away from that bright peppermint eye we've got going on. I think it would just be, I don't know, too much. I don't know. I think we're just not going to do a liner. I think we're just going to throw on some lashes. So let's spray the skin down. I'm going to use my e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I think lashes are what needs to happen now. Because I have so much product on my lashes, so much shadow. I am going to throw on some mascara first and throw on a pair of lashes. So I will be right back. Lashes are on. These are a pair of classics from Kiss. I actually really like this pair. I picked them up because they didn't have the style of lashes I really wanted, but I actually have grown to really like this pair as well. So now for lips. Originally I was thinking a bright red lip, and then I was like, well, maybe we'll save that for my more classic holiday makeup look down the road. Then I was thinking a more traditional nude lip, but now I'm kind of thinking a lighter, softer pink nude lip would look really cute. I threw on a little bit of tinted lip balm, and so it tinted over top of my foundation that was on my lips. And I'm like, I think that would look really cute. It would kind of go with that peppermint, candy cane theme. And so I dug into my drawers as kind of waiting for my lash glue to dry. And I pulled out, what did I do with it though? That's the question. Didn't pull out my sharpener though, so hold that thought. I pulled out this Ish lip liner in the shade hashtag I'm smoking hot, and I'm going to top it with this MAC lipstick. I think it's a satin lipstick in the shade called Angel. I've had this for a really long time, and I used to hate the color because I hated the really pale nudes, but throughout the years they've kind of grown on me, and I think it would just look really pretty over top of this lip liner. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this combo on and kind of see what we think about it. So that alone is a very pretty lip color, but I want to add that little bit of light pink. See that shade? I think it'll look really pretty over top. It's a pretty soft, frosted pink nude over top. It's a really satiny, creamy lipstick. I think that lip color looks really pretty. Very soft, kind of a frosted, wintry look. Super candy cane, peppermint inspired. I actually really like it. I love how this look turned out. I think it's so pretty. It's so Christmassy. It gives me like all the fun candy cane, peppermint Christmas vibes. I love it. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I just think that this lip actually tied the look together without being too overpowering. Like I said, I was originally going to do a bright candy apple red lip. I actually pulled out the Fenty lip in the shade was uncensored, I think. Yeah, uncensored, and decided, you know what, that's too much. Let's save that for another look. I want the eyes to be the focus of this look. And then I don't know, I worked my way through all these thoughts and then ended up with this lip color, and I think it's perfect for this look. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I absolutely love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!